There is a quiet moment most of us have experienced, though we rarely talk about it out loud. You walk away from a conversation and replay it in your mind. A pause that felt a little too long, a smile that didn't quite reach someone's eyes, a tone that felt different from the words being spoken. And you wonder, almost softly, did I miss something? If you have ever felt that uncertainty, this is for you. Not to make you hyper-aware or self-conscious, but to gently help you understand something deeply human, that most of what connects us to one another is never actually said. Human beings are constantly speaking in a language older than words. Before grammar, before vocabulary, before logic, there were signals, expressions, gestures, silences. And long before we learned how to talk, we learned how to read one another. Somewhere along the way, many of us forgot that skill, or were taught to ignore it, or were told that what we sensed wasn't real. But it is, and learning to decode social cues is not about manipulation or control. It is about presence. It is about listening with more than your ears. Most relationship struggles don't come from a lack of love or care. They come from misinterpretation, from signals sent but not received, from needs felt but never named, from emotions expressed indirectly because directly feels too vulnerable. When people say, "We just don't understand each other," what they often mean is, we're speaking different emotional languages. Think about how often someone says, "I'm fine," when they clearly are not. The words are simple, the tone is flat, the shoulders are tight, the eyes look away just a second too quickly. The cue isn't in the sentence, it's in the body. And yet, many of us have been conditioned to take words at face value, even when everything else is telling a different story. Social cues are the emotional subtitles of human interaction. They tell you what the words alone cannot. And learning to read them doesn't make you over-analytical, it makes you attentive. At the heart of social cues is one simple truth. People are always communicating how safe they feel. Every interaction is, in some small way, an answer to the question, "Am I safe here to be myself?" When someone feels safe, their body opens, their voice softens, their gestures become fluid. When they don't, the body closes, arms cross, responses shorten, humor disappears. None of this is conscious, it is instinctive. Consider a common scenario. You text a friend something important. Hours pass before they reply. When they do, the message is brief. You might immediately assume they don't care, or that you said something wrong, but the truth could be something entirely different. They could be overwhelmed, emotionally flooded, unsure how to respond without saying too much. Social cues don't exist in isolation. They live inside context, and decoding them requires curiosity, not conclusions. One of the biggest misunderstandings about social intelligence is the belief that confident people are naturally good at it. In reality, the people who are best at reading others are often the ones who have learned, sometimes painfully, to pay attention. They notice shifts in energy. They sense emotional undercurrents. They listen for what is not being said. This sensitivity is not a weakness, it is a skill, and like any skill, it can be refined. One of the most important cues to understand is silence. Silence is never empty, it is full of meaning. A pause before answering a question can signal hesitation, uncertainty, or the need to protect oneself. Silence after a joke can indicate discomfort. Silence during conflict often means someone is overwhelmed, not disengaged. But because silence makes many of us uncomfortable, we rush to fill it. We talk more, we explain, we justify, and in doing so, we sometimes miss what the silence was trying to tell us. Another powerful cue is congruence. When words and body language align, we feel at ease. When they don't, we feel unsettled, even if we can't explain why. Someone says they're excited, but their posture is slumped. Someone says they forgive you, but their voice is tight.
That discomfort you feel is not imagination, it is perception. Your nervous system is detecting a mismatch. This is why trusting your intuition matters. Not the anxious kind that assumes the worst, but the quiet inner knowing that notices patterns over time. Intuition is not magic. It is your brain processing subtle information faster than conscious thought can keep up with. But decoding social cues is not just about observing others, it is also about understanding yourself. Because the cues you send shape the responses you receive. Many people feel misunderstood not because others aren't listening, but because their internal state and external expression don't match. They want connection, but their body signals distance. They want honesty, but their tone sounds guarded. Have you ever wanted support but said, "It's nothing, don't worry about it"? That is a social cue. It says, "I want help, but I'm afraid to ask." And when others respect the words instead of the emotion beneath them, you might feel unseen, even though no one intended harm. Relationships improve when we become bilingual in words and cues, when we learn to hear both. Eye contact is another subtle but powerful signal. Too little can suggest withdrawal or discomfort. Too much can feel intrusive. But context matters. Cultural background matters. Personality matters. Someone who avoids eye contact may not be hiding anything. They may simply feel safer focusing inward. Decoding cues is not about rigid rules. It is about flexibility. Tone of voice often reveals more than content. A simple "okay" can mean acceptance, resistance, exhaustion, or resignation, depending on how it's said. When you listen beyond the words, you begin to hear emotional texture, the rise and fall, the tension, the softness. These are clues to how someone is really experiencing the interaction. And then there is timing. When someone responds quickly but vaguely, they may be trying to keep distance. When they respond slowly but thoughtfully, they may be choosing their words with care. Speed is not always enthusiasm. Slowness is not always disinterest. We live in a world that values immediacy, but emotional processing takes time. One of the most overlooked social cues is mirroring. When people feel connected, they unconsciously mirror each other's posture, tone, and rhythm. When that mirroring disappears, it often signals emotional distance, not because someone stopped caring, but because something shifted internally. Imagine two people sitting close, leaning in, speaking easily. Then a difficult topic arises. One person leans back, the other stays forward. That physical divergence tells a story. It says we are no longer in the same emotional place. Recognizing that moment allows for gentleness instead of escalation. Decoding social cues also requires humility. Sometimes we get it wrong. Sometimes what we interpret as disinterest is actually anxiety. What we read as coldness is actually self-protection. The goal is not to be perfect, but to stay open, to ask rather than assume, to check in rather than pull away. A simple, "I might be wrong, but you seem a little quiet. How are you feeling?" can transform a relationship. It tells the other person they are seen without being accused. It invites honesty without pressure. This is especially important in close relationships where unspoken cues accumulate over time. Small moments of misattunement, when left unaddressed, can harden into resentment, not because of what happened, but because of how it felt to be unseen. Many people carry a lifetime of experiences where their emotional cues were ignored. A child who learned that expressing sadness led to dismissal, a teenager whose excitement was mocked, an adult whose vulnerability was met with silence. Over time, these experiences teach people to speak indirectly, to hint instead of ask, to withdraw instead of explain. When you learn to decode social cues, you become someone who breaks that pattern, someone who listens differently, someone who notices, and that alone can be profoundly healing. But there is an important boundary here. Decoding social cues does not mean taking responsibility for other people's emotions. It does not mean mind reading or over-functioning. It means staying attuned without abandoning yourself. It means balancing empathy with self-respect. You are allowed to notice a shift in someone's mood without trying to fix it. You're allowed to acknowledge discomfort without absorbing it. Emotional intelligence includes knowing where you end and another person begins. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is moving from performance to presence. Instead of trying to say the right thing, focus on being there. Instead of crafting perfect responses, focus on genuine ones. People are remarkably sensitive to authenticity. They feel it before they understand it. When you are present,